Hey mothers, I hope you're doing well. So today let me share a few tips on how you can store breast milk. So before we dive in, all you need to know that as a mother, it is very important that you keep breast milk safe for your little one. And also, like we are always advised that it is very important that we exclusively breastfeed babies for the first 6 months, whereas it's not the case for most mothers. But it is also possible, especially if you have enough supply of breast milk and you can express it or pump it. So when it comes to people who have to go back to work, like the working mothers, or you need to go somewhere and you can't go with your child everywhere, but you need them to keep taking breast milk, you can easily pump that milk. But then how to store it is the most important thing. So in most cases, you need to know that you need to have bottles or storage packs. As for me, I bought pre-sterilized storage packs. They were like bags from Tommy TP here in Uganda. That's okay. I bought them from a supermarket. I think they are in grocery stores, wherever you could be, or supermarkets or shops. Different brands produce those bags, so it's very important that you have those bags and ensure that they're kept clean and you store your milk like well. So another thing that you need to know after getting that, you need to know that your hands always have to be clean after pumping, that the things that you use to pump have to be clean, kept clean. And then also your as you're pouring into the bags to store wherever you'll be storing your milk, ensure that everything, okay, for the safety of your child, ensure that everything is clean and clean. So on those packs, in most cases there are dates. There is a date, name, I think the date when you express or pump, and then the name of your child, maybe for those who express from the work environment. So make sure that always you note like on the date, sometimes if more important, the time, and also the amount of milk that you've expressed or pumped on that particular day. Then the other thing that you need to note as you're doing that is it's very important that whatever milk you're keeping is the milk that your baby can consume per feed. By this I mean that if your baby takes 5 ounces or 6 ounces or 7, depending on how they drink, please ensure that what you're keeping is that amount that they usually take, because by now I think you know how much your baby consumes. If you don't know yet, you can just start by trying here and there, and then with time you will master how much they can take. So it is very important that you don't give them too much, you don't store too much, which can be spoiled. And like we know, breast milk is very costly, it's very important. We don't need to lose it or to pour it. So let us dive in. Number one of the guidelines that you need to know, the tips, is you can store breast milk up to 4 hours in room temperature. Like after pumping it and you keep it in that bottle or that pack, it can stay for 4 hours. Then if you're to keep it in the fridge, it can last 24 hours, or if the fridge is too cold, it can also go for 3 to 5 days. So the things I'm telling you are the things I've experimented and tried on, and sometimes I usually test on that milk to see whether it's still good or not good. So I'm not just saying things I've not put into practice. So I've stored milk at room temperature 4 hours. I've even gone to 5 hours and it was still good milk. I've stored milk in the fridge for 24 hours. I've also done it 3 days up to 5 days. So in that, keep in mind that as you keep opening your fridge, please reduce the number of times that you open your fridge such that the milk is not affected, temperature wise. So another thing that you can do is, if you're to keep it in the freezer, make sure that after pumping, directly put it into the freezer. Don't first put it in the fridge or the door of the fridge and then you transfer it into the freezer. It's very important that if you put it in the freezer, there it can last for 3 to 6 months, I guess. So I've also done that. I didn't reach the 6 months because my baby consumed, like, I would keep picking, putting, keep picking, putting, keep picking, because I had to go to work, so, and I had to keep giving him breast milk. So what you can do, but it can last for those, it's proven it can last for 3 to 6 months, as long as your power supply is stable and there is nothing that is hindering, like, the safety of that milk. And then another thing that you need to note is that if you are to keep it in now the deep freezer, you know, it's said that it can last for 6 months to a year. Okay, I've not yet reached a year. I've not yet made a year, but a lot of research shows that it can actually last up to a year. At least from my experience, I have done 3 to 4 months, around there. But sometimes maybe it shall be a video of certain things I wish I knew before I started storing and pumping milk, because sometimes the taste changes, you know, a few things change here and there. So another thing to note about the thawing, you know, that is the process where the breast milk was frozen, and then you need to, you know, let it turn into liquid, you know, from ice to liquid form, such that the baby can take it. So I advise you that as you're thawing, first of all, you can try thawing by warm water or cold water. I've tried both of these. At first I used to do warm water, until I discovered actually it's very possible to do cold water. Actually, cold water to me was even quicker, and it helped the milk stay, you know, I think better, because it didn't change much of its temperature. So I could use cold water and then put it in the fridge. So me, I would place it in the fridge door, because I knew I was going to use that particular milk in that particular time. So it's said that it can last for 24 hours. So the milk you've thawed, ensure that the baby consumes it not more than 24 hours. Me, in most cases, I would do 12 hours. Yes, the moment it would clock 12 to maybe 14 hours, I would discard. But in most cases I wouldn't discard milk, because you know, you find that he has already taken, like, all of it. So milk that you've already warmed, like, let's say you've poured into the bottle and then placed it in warm water for it to get warm, in most cases it's advisable let it last for 2 hours, then you can discard off. That is why it's very, very, very important that you note that whatever milk you're giving your baby, he or she is able to consume in that particular feed, such that you don't waste a lot, because there are very many people who want breast milk, they can't get it. So if you have it, please treat it well and keep it, you know, keep it safely and in a good place for your child. Then another thing that you need to know about thawing, that you don't need to refreeze. You know, if you thawed your milk, and if it is already liquid, kindly don't refreeze, like, don't put it back into the freezer to get frozen again. Another thing, do not microwave. Yes, do not microwave. I know some people might want to give their baby warm milk. It is as simple as getting your milk, put it in that bottle or whatever that sachet or bag it is in, and place into, like, a bowl full of hot water. Place it into, you know, that, and let it pick the temperature from the water to become warm, rather than you putting it in the microwave, because the microwave, number one, might make it lose its nutrients. Another thing, you know, when you're microwaving food, the microwave doesn't warm food at once, so it has certain spots. So it could do that to your baby's milk, and then you find that you burn your baby by that. I hear some people cook breast milk. I've not done it. I can't advise you on that, because the things I'm sharing here are the things that I've done and the things that I know are proven to work. Otherwise, I hope these tips will help you keep your baby's milk stored well, even as you go out to get about with business, work. Just maybe you're stepping out of the house and then you need your baby to keep feeding. please ensure that all those things are put into consideration. Otherwise, I hope to see you in the next video. If you find this video helpful, please put a thumbs up, like it, comment, share, and please subscribe to my channel. Yes, we are growing every other day. I hope to see you. Thank you for watching. Bye.